unexplained mysteries, conspiracy theories, and special guests along with your calls right here on the Edge radio broadcast with your host, Daniel Ott.
Do you feel like I do? Are you getting a feeling the Edge radio broadcast is growing? Well, if so, you're right. The Edge program has been hitting the bullseye of what people are interested in. Do you feel like I do? We're now broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from the new EBN, the Edge Broadcasting Network. We've added a web store. We're making a difference in the search for truth, and we're sharing our success with you. Do you feel like I do? From around the world, people are listening. They're sending in their stories and comments. They're making guest suggestions. They're telling their friends about the show. Do you feel like I do? Listen every Saturday night, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and feel like I do, right here on this station.
The Edge Broadcasting Network introduces EBN Music, Truth Through Art. Are you an artist, singer-songwriter, a poet? If so, do you want your work showcased on the EBN Broadcasting Network? Just get in touch with us here at theedgeam.com. That is theedgeam.com. EBN Music, Truth Through Art. Your truth, your art.
Fact or fiction? Discovering the truth together here on the Edge radio broadcast.
I've seen you in the streets and at your political convention, talking of your crusade, talking of your nation and other things too terrible to mention. And you proclaim your Christianity, you proclaim your love of God, you talk of apple pie and mom. Well, I've just got one question and I want an answer. Tell me, who would Jesus bomb? Maybe Jesus would bomb the Syrians, 'cause they're not Jews like him. Maybe Jesus would bomb the Afghans on some kind of vengeful whim. Maybe Jesus would drive an M1 tank and he would shoot Saddam. Who would Jesus bomb? Navy and on the battleships. I've seen you in the house upon the hill. And I've heard you talking about making the world safer and about all the men you have to kill. And you speak so glibly about your civilization and how you have the moral higher ground, while halfway around the world your explosives smash the buildings. Ah, if you could only hear the sound. But maybe Jesus would sell landmines and turn on his electric chair. Maybe Jesus would show no compassion for his enemies in the lands way over there. Maybe Jesus would have flown the planes that killed the kids in Vietnam. Who would Jesus bomb? Yes, I hear you shout with confidence as you praise the Lord, and you talk about this God you know so well. You talk of Armageddon and your final victory when all the evil forces go to hell. Well, you'd best hope you've chosen wisely on the right side of the Lord, and when you die your conscience it is clear. You'd best hope your atom bombs are better than the sword at the time when your reckoning is here. 'Cause I don't think Jesus would send gunships into Bethlehem or jets to race the towns of Timorese. I don't think Jesus would lend money to dictators or drive those SUVs. And I don't think Jesus would ever have dropped a single ounce of napalm. So tell me, who would Jesus bomb?
My last article this evening is entitled Genetic Roulette, Monsanto Corporation, Business as Usual. And before I begin my commentary, I'd like to thank the Institute for Responsible Technology, of which I am a member, for providing me with valuable background information on the Monsanto Corporation. Business as usual, Monsanto Corporation, and the game of genetic roulette. We are all acquainted with stories of tobacco, asbestos, and DDT. Although originally declared safe, they cause widespread disease, death, and an imbalance in the ecosystems. Although the impact was devastating, the majority of Earth's population was spared. The same cannot be said for rapid changes in the Earth's food supply. Every human on the face of the Earth must eat, so everyone is affected. Diabetes, cancer, and obesity are at an all-time high in North America, due in part to profound changes in our daily diet. The most radical change occurred around 12 years ago when genetically modified GM crops were first introduced. Their influence on health has largely been ignored until recently. Genetically modified organisms, referred to as GMOs, have been linked to thousands of toxic or allergic reactions and thousands of sick, sterile, and dead livestock, and damage to virtually every organ and system studied in lab animals. Every independent animal feeding program safety shows adverse or unexplained effects. GM foods were first made possible by technology developed in the late 1970s, whereby genes from one species are forced into the DNA of other species. Genes produce proteins which in turn can generate characteristics or traits. The promised traits with GMOs were phenomenal: vegetables growing in desert sand, super vitamin fortified grains, and highly productive crops ready to feed the starving underdeveloped countries. None of these traits became available. As a matter of fact, the only two traits found in nearly all commercialized GM plants were herbicide tolerance and/or pesticide production. Herbicide tolerant soy, corn, cotton, and canola plants